in. But after an hour of trying to communicate with the supposed spirits, nothing happened. It had been a long, exhausting 24 hours, and we were all pleased when daybreak eventually came.
Well, as we commenced the investigation at the Bell Hotel, as soon as I went inside and to the upper floors, there was screams, and then suddenly to realise that this young lady's life, her life force was just being taken away from her. That was so sad. And then go a little bit further on the upper floors to then come into links with residual thought of the person that did this horrible act. That alone was like my baptism to Derby.
I was a bit disappointed when we did the vigil with Yvette, Richard and myself. I was hoping for any kind of activity, and it wasn't until the last 10 minutes that we were there that the downstairs door was slammed too. Now, we went back downstairs, checked it over, and unless you actually physically pushed the door to, there was nowhere that it could have banged. There was no draft. I'm not saying that's a ghost, but it is unexplainable at the moment.
As usual, when our filming is finished, Dr. Matthew Smith watches through the footage and gives us his unbiased opinion on some of the experiences the Most Haunted crew captured during the night.
When Yvette, Phil and Richard were up in room 29, and Richard asked the spirits to give a sign of some sort, and the door slammed just at the right moment. Now that could be a ghost responding to Richard's question, but also it could be simply a draft or some other normal explanation causing the door to slam.
Would you just give us a sign? Just to let us know.
What's kind of interesting is it did slam just at the right time to it appear to be some kind of sign from the spirits. I think what this segment also shows is that when people have a strong will to believe in ghosts, then they're quite keen to kind of explain any simple bang or knock in terms of ghosts. And I think it shows us quite nicely here with Richard trying to seek an explanation in terms of the paranormal. Clearly saying this could simply be a gust of wind. The EMF recordings are particularly impressive and unusual because not only was Yvette passing the reading over the same place a number of times, and on some occasions on some occasions getting no reading at all. That tells us that it doesn't appear to be some hidden source which could be explained, say, in terms of computers or some of the cameras. And also the readings on the EMF reader were actually extremely high, much higher than you would expect from the cameras or any other pieces of equipment. So they're kind of quite unusual in that respect. Whether or not that means there's some kind of ghost energy or whether there is some other still hidden source that we don't know about, I'm not too sure, but it's something that's worth investigating further. Well, here we saw Victoria was getting very frightened simply by a light going off on the coffee machine. And I think this perhaps shows us that when it's very late at night and you're in a location which you're told is haunted, and you're actually there actually trying to look for ghosts, then I think we can be set up into interpreting anything as being a bit paranormal, and also it frightens us when it's not, it comes at a time when we're not expecting it. So I think it just shows us that sometimes we can psychologically set ourselves up to be very frightened by something which would normally be quite mundane and simple.
Three locations in 24 hours had kept us busy. It had been a long night where our patience and nerves were tested. There is so much more to uncover in Derby, and maybe one day we will go back, but never to room 29. Sleep tight.